Yo, what's going on, people? Villa and Noir here. This is my match reaction. Aston Villa 1, Bologna 0. Literally just got back from the game. As you can see, I tried to just get it done as soon as possible. The video that I recorded outside of Villa Park, for some reason, isn't working, so I thought I'd get something to you now. Now, remember, like, comment, subscribe to the channel. I want to hear your thoughts about tonight. Those that were at the game, those that watched it online, watched the coverage on TV or online or whatever. Let me know what your thoughts were of the game today. You know, these are my quick thoughts. I'll probably give a proper debrief tomorrow. But guys, genuinely, first and foremost, we won. You know, we won, we scored. We won, we scored. I want to get that out there first. We won and we scored. All right. So I'm happy about that, about the fact that we have our first win of the season so far. Happy about that. Now, standing in the whole end this evening, you know, at points it felt like we were losing. We got a goal within the first 15 or so minutes. But after that, you know, I feel like as fans, we just wanted more. You know, we wanted another goal. We wanted a performance, you know, as much as, you know, we got the win today. I think there was part of me that was hoping for a performance that said, yeah, we've arrived. You know, yeah, we know what we're doing. Yeah, this is our identity. Yeah, this is how we're going to go out and take advantage of lesser teams, and this is how we're going to attack stronger teams, because this is who we are. This is the Aston Villa who we are. I was watching games from last year yesterday, and it was very clear our identity, especially in the first half of the season. It was clear that we were a transitional team, like to move on the counter attack, you know, like to play balls through the lines, and I just don't know where that is now. I struggle to see what Unai Emery is seeing in certain individuals that are starting. You know, don't know why Benduya started. Don't know why Gisan started. Don't know how Gisan finished the game. You know, I don't think he offered us anything. And, you know, I know he kind of made some breaks, a couple of breaks, but there were so many things or so many times where we were on the ball and he offered no outlet. Now, I don't know whether that's a tactical thing or whether it's just not really knowing what to do. And I'm worried that we're putting our faith in players that this time last year wouldn't touch the field. You know, how is it that Harvey Elliott didn't see any game time today? How is it that, you know, Jadon Sancho is riding the bench again? You know, and I know Marlon is a try hard. And he played a lot better today than he did before and than he has before, but he's not a front man. You know, we looked weak in the middle of the park. I feel like every ball that was in the air we lost. You know, obviously we're not a tall team, but you know, doesn't seem to be any grit. You know, every second ball we're losing. You know, we can't hold on to the ball, can't string 2 or 3 passes together. You know, there's glimpses, and what I'll say is there was glimpses of quality. You know, there's a couple of times where Pau would play a ball through the lines straight through to the midfielders or the attackers. There's times when as you constantly do the same thing, but it's glimpses. It doesn't seem to be something that is constant and consistent. And that's why I feel like, for me anyway, standing there today, I was like, I left happy that we've won. Left happy that we finally got a win on our record. Happy that we scored. Happy that we had a clean sheet, but not confident that we can actually get better or actually get a result against a better side. And you know, Fulham have had a good start to the season, so I don't know what we're in for on Sunday. But what I saw today isn't going to be any of the top 10 teams in the Premier League right now, because Bologna aren't a great side, really. You know, they're sitting at 11th in the Serie A right now. What I will say, another thing I will say, is that I think there are confidence issues all across the squad. Well, no. That's let me not say that. I think there's confidence issues with two of our main players. Morgan Rogers, and I don't know what the answer is because I think dropping him probably would knock his confidence even more. He seems a bit like a bit fragile. You could see him getting a bit antsy at the end of the game. Pulling players and pushing players or whatever. He was getting a bit antsy. You know what I mean? So I don't know how much dropping him would help his psyche, and maybe that's the reason why Unai isn't dropping him. And Unai feels that maybe he can play himself into form. And you see glimpses, but he gives the ball away too much. And it's not about like even giving the ball away when he's dribbling. It's like he can't even pass the ball accurately, to the point where he passed the ball and it reached one of our players for once, and there was like a sarcastic jeer from the fans, and that's not a great place to be at all. Ollie, I really wanted him to score that penalty today. I really wanted him to score that penalty because I feel like, again, he's the kind of player, confidence based. His movement was a lot better today. But I just need you want him to score that because I feel like it's a monkey off his back. It's a weight lifted. It's a burden alleviated. But that penalty stank of complete and utter lack of confidence. Straight down the middle, no conviction, no power. Man. But at the same time, you know what? Part of me is kind of glad in one sense because I think a 2-0 win would make us feel a little bit more confident. But in reality, overall, it wasn't like especially against a team like Bologna, we should have been piling the pressure on them. And, again, I guess second half was a bit better. I think Jadon Sancho gave us some impetus. I think his interplay is really, 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 really clever. Even to the point where he was linking up with Digne, which is really nice. And I think we have to try and find a way to take advantage of him in the game a lot more. Hopefully Unai sees the point in starting him over Emi Buendia because, brother, it didn't do nothing. Giesand didn't do anything. I think McGinn, thank you for the goal, Super John McGinn. Kamara, they were steady. But again, you're missing Tielemans, you're missing the individual that's able to create from deep. There's a very big hole there. But steady game from them guys. I think the defence was quite solid, in the main part. Matty Cash put in a shift. I think he might end up getting some plaudits from me, the way he's playing at the moment. He's doing well. But yeah, I just think, I think I was left wanting more. In a sense of, I don't want to be scraping wins. I want us to be a team that wins well. And I don't think I'm wrong for desiring that. I don't think I'm wrong for wanting that. But maybe I am. If I'm wrong, let me know what your thoughts are, guys. But yeah, I'm really interested to hear what everybody's thoughts were. For guys that were in the stadium, any fans that were in the stadium, let me know what your thoughts were about the atmosphere. It felt tense. It felt very, like, I want to say mundane. That's the wrong word. It felt heavy. I think people wanted more. I know where I was sitting, loads of people, people leave early anyway, but, when people were leaving, it wasn't like they were leaving with jubilance. It was very much just like, I wanted more, I expected more, but we won. So let's hope this carries on till Sunday against Fulham. Like, comment, subscribe, and as always, guys, up the Villa. Peace.